I'm not sure when this was written. I'd have to guess maybe somewhere around 2005, and it's inserted here at September 19th, 1994, but that's because that's the day that Shaniqua arrived. The post goes as follows. Shaniqua is a female jungle cat born May 1st, 1994, and who arrived here on 9/19/94 from an exotic animal auction where all sorts of wild animals are sold to the highest bidder with no thought as to their well-being. From the first day she arrived here, it became apparent why Shaniqua, or any jungle cat, would never make a good pet. She was so hyperactive that she was bouncing off the walls, literally. She even jumped into a ceiling fan or two and did not seem to learn anything from the experience, but rather found it quite entertaining. Shaniqua was built a large outdoor enclosure that she was to share with Tarzan, a neutered male, in the hopes that she could exhaust all of her pent-up energy playing with her new friend. The two were originally put together for the purpose of breeding, but we learned through someone who knew both cats from different times in their lives that they had the same parents. They were separated and no jungle cats were ever born here. Former volunteer, also previous staff member, he was our first videographer, Brian Zarnick, recently shared his notes with you on the blog about the Felid Taxon Advisory Group's discussion of the dilemma they face with captive bred cats. Obviously, I had written this to the volunteers. They had only a 24% success rate, and thus the more rare cats are dying out of captivity. The Felid tag, that stands for Taxon Advisory Group, had prohibited using cats bred in the pet sector in the early 2000s because the private sector keeps no records and is an embarrassment due to their practices. The problem is that the private sector produces more kittens than zoos, and they are getting desperate to fill their cages. If accredited zoos start paying for kittens again, the public will be jumping to fill that need and claiming that they are helping conservation. The only good that could come out of that is once the masses see that there's no difference between the actions of zoos and backyard breeders, it will be easier to bring pressure down to shut the zoos. I don't know if it was an oversight, but jungle cats were not included in Brian's report. Back several years ago, there were only 9 jungle cats listed in the International Species Information Service. The acronym for that was ISIS. That's why I was trying to remember what it actually stood for. There were only 9 jungle cats listed in the International Species Information System in the US, and 6 of them were here on Easy Street. Now there is only Rambo and Shaniqua. Once they are gone, it may be very near the end of an era for imprisonment of their species in America. They are common enough in the wild, and they are not endangered. They are probably still in a few private collections, but we almost never hear of anyone having them anymore.